Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Duelist push series. Today we are taking a look at a game against Assassination Rogue Disc Priest because, well, on the Reddit post some of you were like, oh, well, how do I deal with Assassination Rogues? And in this game, I actually made quite a few mistakes that I can point out so that we don't have to make those same mistakes in the future. It's been a while since the Duelist push, like a week and a half, and I've been continuing to play ever since, and even in that week and a half I can now see stuff I used to do, because keep in mind I've only been a BM hunter for like 6 weeks, that we really shouldn't do. So hopefully I can teach you guys a thing or two again. If you liked the video, leave a like on it, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see all the further installments of the series, and let's jump right in. So against the Rogue, obviously, as soon as the gates open, you kind of want to go into stealth. You don't necessarily have to with the Resto Druid, but we do manage to get the Rogue out, and we combat him. They still get a decent opener on the Resto Druid. I go for a stun into a trap here after I get my bark shot procs, which is alright. I get blinded here, and about the blind I do want to say something. There's two things, right, against Rogue Priest. If you play with the Resto Druid, most of the time the Rogue will always go for the Resto Druid, so you can trinket the blinds. But if you play with something like a Disc Priest or maybe a Holy Priest, then it's a little bit more difficult because the Rogue can swap to you. Trinketing a blind as a DPS always leaves the opportunity for them to open on you anyway, but I felt like I was pretty safe. As you can see, we still have all our other cooldowns. We can get full hots from our healer. Plus, this is 2k MMR. Most rogues at this rating in 2s, they don't really punish trinketing a blind. If you get higher up, I can imagine they will. But we still have Barkskin as well. So I felt relatively safe. And I had the trap rolling, so I kind of wanted to get some pressure out with that. And here, obviously, the Rogue is going to trade some defensives because we had CC on the healer while doing our damage. We kick the healer here. We get Cloak and BM Trinket. And we haven't really used anything ourselves except for my Trinket. So that's pretty good. Here I do manage to fuck up quite a bit. As you can see, my trap comes off cooldown, but there's still DR, and I actually just DR trap the priest, which is really bad. Always keep an eye on that. And here I'm just, in general, I'm just really too close to the priest, like all the time. As you can see here, I'm too close. It's every time I'm too close to the priest, he has an opportunity to fear me and get a mind games off. And that's something you always have to keep in mind as well. If you play against a Holy Priest or a Disc Priest, and this is actually why trinketing the blind might have been a mistake anyway. If you get feared and they have a mind games go on your healer, that's basically the only time they can actually kill him. So me being this close to the priest right here is actually a huge mistake. And I'd say trinketing the blind earlier, you can to keep up your pressure. And like the idea was I have my trap landed so that I can... but now I got blinded, but I have to get some pressure out. But as you will see, I get a half trap. He just casually sits it. I should have already been either right here away from the priest or at this side away from the priest. But now he gets out of the trap. He just gets a double fear like it's nothing. And he blasts in the mind games. That is the only window where they can really kill your Resto Druid. So I'm lucky that our Resto Druid was at like 100% health when all this was going down. So this was probably a bit early for them to go for this go, because if they would have done it when he was at like 60% health, then it would have been much scarier. Maybe they would have gotten some cooldowns, but anyway, all the time I'm just too close. I should be max ranging this. We do land a kick here. They use PI. We tried to get that with Trank Shot, don't get it, but then we get it with Arcane Torrent, so that's quite some value. all through this game, I want you to keep an eye on the barb shot stacks as well. It's a bit rough keeping them up this game for me, which is a mistake. You need to focus on that. We're too close to the disc priest again. As you can see, there's so much we're doing wrong here. This is why I actually chose this game, because I can basically show you guys like, hey, this is not what you want to do. Now this was a good exchange here. So they use the barrier. Obviously our healer just scoots out of there, so they have to leave the barrier. We get feared, but it gets dispelled. Here we land a trap. He uses evasion, but we kind of don't have an opportunity here. So this would normally be a very good evasion from him, right? But here their team overlaps because the disc priest trinkets the trap, but there was no reason to, because I can't really do anything to Rogue when he uses his evasion. So that was an overlap. We just switched to the priest, I can imagine. Yep, there we go. So we switch to the priest, we get some pressure on him as well, and as soon as the evasion is gone, we're just going to go back on the rogue, because the rogue takes more damage and it's just easier to pressure him that way. Here we see them going they're going to start running a little bit, and here I make another mistake. So I see that the rogue is putting all his bleeds on me, so it kind of looks like their priest is over at our healer, and it looks like he has fear as well. So what we should have done right here, we have feigned death. We should have feigned death right now, so that he didn't have any bleeds up while we're in the stun. But we don't do that. I have to pet sack myself. I'm fine either way, because for some reason their priest did not fear our healer, so our healer is just free casting, but that was a mistake. Like, we should have definitely used feign death. The only thing that was good about this is that our healer was free casting, so once the kidney landed, we have all these bleeds, he builds it all up, mind games, we get out of that, and we can just feign death off the mind games as well. Here this is like the worst trap I've ever thrown. So out of the, I already pet stunned here because I wanted to get the trap, and then I hastily throw it out there. The priest just dodges it and it traps the rogue with 0 value. So keep an eye on that. It's not worth just throwing out the trap willy-nilly. Just make sure you land it. Here at this point they're almost which means they have like 2 more minutes, not even 2 more minutes, like a minute to get a kill. And I don't think they're going to be able to do it. 10 seconds on the kidney. So at this point they're going to have 1 more try. But now we trap the healer. Well, talking is hard. We trap the healer right when the kidney comes off cooldown, which makes him have to run. And at this point we have a cyclone on the priest. As you can see, let's take it back a little bit. He comes in to attack us. He gets kidney back, so we get the trap, and now he's running. He shouldn't have run to that side of the pillar, because now we get a bash into a clone, which he couldn't have stopped. And then I get blinded. I took a long time. It took like a full second to trinket that, while I should have just trinketed it instantly. Too close to the priest again, so he gets to peel with the fear. This is the biggest thing I've done wrong in this game, I think, is my positioning. It's really terrible. Here as well, what we should have done right here. So we have the little mark on the rogue, right? So that he can't really re-stealth. Here we trinket the blind, and for some reason he cloaks. All right, he cloak vanishes, so we couldn't really do anything about that. I was just trying to see if I maybe let it fall off, where he could just get a vanish like that. So he used cloak for that, which is good. Then we have to take a look here. We get kidneyed, we pet sack ourselves. We're not in any danger. We get the bark skin as well. And at this point, we strip the PI with tranquilizing shot. Too close to the priest again. He's just trying to peel. Evasion. So we hit the disc priest, mind games, another half kidney. Our healer is free casting. I'm just trying to put on the pressure because he's paint sub. At this point, basically they can't really do much anymore. Our healer is positioning all the way in the back, so he's out of the range of any CC. Here, the priest doesn't have any mana to dispel the root, and the rogue just flops. So for that game, yeah, terrible game for us. Like, I did so much wrong. Like, I was too close to the priest. I basically trinketed the blind when I should have probably kept it for a fear, so that I could stop a mind games go. So there's two things I could have done. If I trinket the blind, then I have to stay away from the priest. There is no excuse for me being close to the priest. I need to run from him, and every time he tries to come over to me, I need to slow him, run away from him, because he shouldn't be able to catch me, right? I'm a BM hunter, so a disc priest shouldn't be able to catch me at all. That would force the assassination rogue to having to get like a cheap shot on me, maybe even use his vanish for that, in order to get a good setup on the rest of druid. So that's a huge mistake we did this game. We're very lucky that our healer didn't make the same mistake. When the priest moved up, he was trying to get away from the priest to stay out of the fears. We should have preemptively used Feign Death when we knew there was going to be a swap, so that when we're in the kidney shot, the rogue still has to put on all his bleeds instead of just being able to spam Envenom. And you can see there's loads to improve on even in these games that you win. But against a rogue, especially with like a disc priest or a holy priest, and you're playing with the resto druid, you kind of just want to win on mana. Winning on setups is possible if you get like a I would say pet stun on the healer with the mighty bash on the rogue, and then trap off of the pet stun on the healer, and cyclone out of that. That would be possible to kill in a setup easily. But you don't have to. You can kind of just drag the game out and win on mana, because they're on a timer and you're not so much. So I hope this helps. You guys really need to let me know which comps you struggle with in the comment section down below, so that I can take those games out of this duelist push as well. And I wanted to address real quick on the Reddit. A lot of people were like, fuck this shit. Like, BM Hunter is so easy. There's no reason to make a series like this. But I kind of looked at the statistics, and even if you look at BM Hunters, there's not very many that have Duelist or higher. It's like, of all the people in 2s, it's like a high percentage, obviously, compared to other classes like Enhancement Shaman. But Duelist is still only 2.67% of all the active PvP players. And with all the comments, even from BM Hunters on Reddit, I see that like, oh, I just got my 1400, I'm so happy. I mean, there's a lot to learn from 1400 to 2100, and this series was never supposed to end at 2100. I just want to take you guys on the journey on my Beast Mastery Hunter, and if we get 2.4, I'll tell you how I got 2.4. If I get 2.8, I'll tell you how I got 2.8. I don't expect it to happen anytime soon, but even if we go for a Gladiator push, when we do 3s games, I'm going to break down the 3s games, help you guys how to land all the setup with like jungle, maybe some PHP, maybe even some KFC. So I hope it helps you guys. If it doesn't, I'm not forcing you to watch these videos. If you don't like the video, I'm fine with you putting a thumbs down on it and telling me why. But if the comment is just going to be BM is easy, Kek W, then don't even bother. Like, why waste everyone's time? I'd like to thank everyone else for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you at some point. Like I said, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Eddy out.